The super fascinating news item that the president had shelved his plans for a major cabinet reshuffle took many Kenyans completely by surprise. Cabinet secretaries and other top government officials were assured that as long as they deliver, their jobs were safe. This recent development has also raised very many questions. Now, in case you've forgotten, let me remind you, the Wiper Party, KANU, Chama cha Mashinani of Isaac Ruto, have all signed cooperation deals with the ruling Jubilee government. All over the world, when you sign a cooperation deal or you go into such an arrangement with the government, you will usually get something in return. And that something in return is usually slots in the cabinet, slots in that government, and not just any slot, prominent positions in that government, so that at the end of the day, that government reflects the new arrangement of government. There was even talk of Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi getting prominent slots in government, in the cabinet. And as I was doing my research at the time, I came across something very puzzling. ODM, the Orange Democratic Movement, did not seem interested in cabinet slots. Indeed, when I talked to insiders, they ruled out the possibility of any ODM people being incorporated into cabinet. I found that strange, and that is still a mystery to me. Anyway, bearing all this in mind, the president changing his mind about reshuffling his cabinet can now be seen in new light. And you realize that it's really shocking. What happens to the Wiper Party? What happens to KANU? What happens to all those people who were preparing to join cabinet? But the most important question is why? Why was there a sudden change of direction as far as this matter is concerned? Because there has to be a reason. Things don't happen for no reason. Sometimes you can get clues to political developments, from other political developments happening shortly, before this thing you're investigating happened, or before that decision was made. And we all know that at around that time this decision was announced by State House, Raila Odinga left the country, for what we're still being told was minor surgery. We also know that after this announcement, there was some serious manenos in Parliament over the new constitution of members to parliamentary committees. There are some ODM members who had been recommended to chair certain committees. But what happened is that a list was compiled in State House by the President and presented in Parliament by new Majority Leader Amos Kimunya. And this thing caused pandemonium in the House. It resulted in that famous Murathe statement, that House committees are our business. You ODM people are just visitors. It is reported that Murathe even said later, to ODMers, those who want to leave the handshake are free to do so. So, are those two incidences linked to the president changing his mind about a major rearrangement, reshuffle of government, which would have hit CSs, permanent secretaries, and many other prominent government positions? Well, let me put it this way. It is hard to imagine that those incidences were not linked to the president changing his mind. It is very hard to convince anybody that they had nothing to do with that very sudden change in direction by State House. Raila Odinga came back into the country very quietly on Sunday. Yeah, and by the way, I covered that in my weekly intelligence briefings released late last week. If you're a WIB subscriber and you haven't seen it yet, check your email thoroughly. It's there. For those who want to join under our very special offer, find the details on what to do on your screens. I believe they're there right now. Now, judging by the way the president has been running government since the historical handshake of March 2018, we can confidently say that Raila Odinga has also been a confidant and one of the most influential advisors of the president during this period. And we've seen a lot of evidence to confirm this. And so it makes sense the president postponing such a serious decision as a rearrangement of government, because Raila Odinga is not feeling well. Because he's suffering from something that was so serious that even as he returned into the country on Sunday, he is going to be resting for the next 2 weeks. He's not going to be seeing people. In that latest WIB, I reveal some very explosive information on exactly what is wrong with Raila Odinga. So make sure you catch that. But in my view, the good news for supporters of the president is the fact that the postponement of this reshuffle or the shelving of this cabinet reshuffle does not affect the government in any way when you talk of parties like Wiper and KANU and Chama Shinani. Because those parties are not ODM. Those parties will not cause any political ripples in the country. No way. Those are minor political parties. And Wiper supporters will forgive me for stating the brutal truth. For example, there's no way Wiper can turn around and say, we had an agreement and now that we're not in the cabinet, we are rethinking our agreement. If they did something like that, Jubilee would say, Sawa. A guy like David Murathe would not break into a sweat. No way. There is no way the president would lose any sleep over that. But if a political party like ODM were involved in something like that, that would be major. And even if a guy like Murathe issued a statement, that you can leave the handshake if you want, you would be sure that he was sweating, even as he said that. Folks, that is the political reality. But the biggest bombshell by far from all these developments is the fact that it appears that the push for the BBI has slowed down. The first telltale clue that clearly told us that was the list from State House on the new members and the new chairpersons of the various parliamentary committees, which was rejected by ODM. I think you'll agree with me, if the BBI was moving forward at full speed, such a list would never have emerged. And if we look back a little and look at the way the government has been handling projects or initiatives that it has abandoned midway, this is exactly what happens. Things just go quiet. There's no announcement that this thing is finished, this thing is kaput, this thing is over. No. What happens is that things go slowly, and then they come to a screeching halt. And meanwhile, Kenyans have moved on. They don't notice. I'll give you a very good example. Remember the Huduma number manenos? To date, we have never had any announcement telling us what happened to the Huduma number. That Huduma number that was supposed to control everything when you have to deal with government. What happened to it? Now, you'll remember I said in an earlier video, the reason why the Jubilee faction and the handshake is wary of Raila Odinga being too influential in the parliamentary committees was because of the BBI initiative. Well, today I want to rephrase that very slightly. It is because of some legal initiatives which are coming very soon, which will be tabled in Parliament that may have nothing to do with the BBI. Yeah, but they are proposed new laws, proposed changes to existing laws. For now, let me just leave it at that. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.